with the children, again, that's a unique approach too, because the first thing you want the children to know is that, it's not their fault. You want to love them through it. You want to try to reinforce for them that their parents, you hope that they love them. I guess it depends on each situation, but most situations they are where each parent really does love the children.
Probably different for me than it is for a lot of other people, just because my situation in particular is kind of different. My dad actually passed away when I was 12, so I never really had the opportunity to, I guess, reconcile the feelings that I had about my parents' divorce and the feelings that I had about how it was my fault and elements of all of that. But I know that some people don't really deal well with when their families get divorced or they don't really like their new step-parents. But for me, my stepdad was more of a dad to me than my own biological father ever was, because he was the one who was taking care of me and who was around me for most of my life. And both of them, I don't know, it's hard to explain. When I was younger, I definitely took out a lot of my, anger about the situation and my own feelings upon my mom and my stepdad. So that's one thing that I definitely still kind of feel guilty about. But they've always been there for me, and my younger brother, who I guess is my half-brother, they're who my family is now.
It's hard for them to trust people. They're not, they haven't gotten it from me, but from their dad. If someone calls and they're going to pick them up at 5 and they're not here at 5, they pace. Or if someone calls and makes plans with them and they don't follow through, there's a lot of disappointment than what a normal kid would have.
I did pretty well with it. I really just kind of accepted it, and it was strange because, as I think my younger brother might have not, maybe done worse in school and everything, I kind of just excelled just because I, just was like, okay, well, I'm going to do my own thing now. I just became really independent because of it.
I will not support an institution that sets up differences and inequalities in the culture based on a union. So, for instance, the very fact that married people, especially if they have families, get tax breaks, right? And the very fact that certain people, namely heterosexuals, are allowed marriage, but it's not extended to people who classify as gay, right, is an affirmation of a hierarchy that privileges groups over others. And so to me, that's not progress. That's not democratic. And so to me, being single is actually an emancipatory move. It's a move towards saying that if we're all indeed equal, men, women, gay, heterosexual, then we need to dismantle the institutions that keep us in our place.
And that's the difference. Today, the younger people are spoiled. They have to have a new house.
Right away.
A new car.
Right away.
And they compete with one another. That's the sad part. They compete. You have to live within your means. If it comes to doing without, that's what you do.
Pursue counseling to better understand themselves and the conflicts in the marriage and what the solutions are. The other Dr. Grobel mentioned to me a very simple example of a couple who were in deep conflict with a threat of divorce. This was after 30 plus years of marriage because of an isolated incident of infidelity relatively early on in the marriage. And talking with them to understand where each of them were in that relationship at that point.
I think people take so much for granted, so much for granted. I mean, all that you know could be gone in a day, and people don't know how to communicate and lack, good communication skills. And I would highly recommend premarital counseling or definitely know the person that you quote unquote love or supposedly love, and no one understands or realizes commitment. You know, commitment is commitment, and your vows are vows, and you know, it's too easy to get divorced. You know, you have to fight the fight. And
I don't think a lot of people are committed like they should be. Earlier on, as you can see the statistics, divorce rate is high. Marriage is an institution that should last forever and does not for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with what she's saying, yes.
And that's good every now and then. I mean, I think our relationship got much healthier once we
started.
had friends like that. But don't feel like you have to do that just to keep them happy at the expense of the relationship. But then on the other hand, don't let your relationship totally annihilate your other social life.
It's a balance, basically.
It is.
It is.
It is. It's a balance.
Shut up, man.
Well, you know what? I think it is one-sided. I think she has to give 100%, and I have to give 100%. That's being one-sided. And you give because you love one another. You don't give because you have to. There's no set rule that says, well, it's 50-50. Life isn't 50-50. Life sometimes is 100% that way and 100% this way. It's not 50-50. What do you say, Grandma?
I say, sounds good to me.
Sounds good to her.